In a sea full of realtors, how do you stand out? That's what we're talking about today. If you've had an issue with standing out and you're tired of just going out there and recording houses and your content getting 2 to 3 views, or your clientele thinking you're just like every other realtor because of what you're talking about, you're pushing out, or you're writing, sending, talking to them in person, well, that's what we're going to figure out today. How do you stand out? How do you find your own identity in a sea full of realtors where everybody else blends in? Vic, you want to take it off?
Yeah, I think this is a common problem or a common theme that you see with a lot of realtors. They fail, in my opinion, to create an identity, and they just follow like the trends. They try to see what's happening or what other people have success with, and they don't follow their own thing. I think a perfect example where I was just talking to Flor right now. There was when Flor, came to the brokerage. We were talking about what she wanted to do and what I envisioned for her, because Flor presented herself very well and spoke, great. And I was telling her that maybe we should focus in an area that had more production, a little more faster pace, an opportunity to gain more business. And as I got to know her, I realized that, she had like 40 acres or something, I don't know, and had all these animals. And I was shocked. I thought it was all cap. But it turned out that it was true.
He thought I was full of it.
Yeah. And I think it's important when you're looking at creating identity to also look at what you like to do and who you are as a person, so you don't have to fake it. So it's something that you just do by nature, something that you love. It's something that happens all the time. Our boy Nate's, not here today. Apparently he gets a sick day, but nobody else does. Mm-hmm. He can't fake his luxury lifestyle. It's what he enjoys to do. He enjoys the fancy restaurants and the fancy drinks and the high-end places. Like, he enjoys those things versus, some maybe like us or me, I enjoy those things. I really do like them. Doesn't move me one way or the other. I don't work every day for that fancy drink or that fancy bar, restaurant, whatever it is. I don't work for that. I work for, if anything, I work for more of a lifestyle like Flor lives, and I guess give us a little bit of insight on your lifestyle and how that helped build your identity. I guess because we wanted to do is give you an action plan on how to find that identity.
I think it's super important for you to be realistic, honestly, on who you truly are, and what something that Vic just said on what do you like to do. Whenever I came to the brokerage, I said since the beginning that I wanted to do farm and ranch, and I think Vic looked at me crazy. But that's truly what I love doing. Like, I enjoy being out in the country, just out with my family, doing like things outdoors. And just having that lifestyle, I think it has been like super easy to kind of transition and present, that same lifestyle to what I sell, to what what my clients like, or to what my clients are looking for. I feel like it's just what, to add to what Vic just said, it's super easy transition where you don't have to fake who you are to be likable to the other person. It's the connection between you and that person that you're trying to attract. It just flows like naturally. And I feel like that is extremely important whenever you are in sales, that what you're selling, that you believe in what you're selling. And personally, I absolutely love, like the farm and ranch life. Just love like having the land, being out there, and it's something that it just comes naturally to explain to my clients that, they have been living in the city for so many years, and they have had that idea of, oh, maybe it's a good idea to move out to the country. I mean, you have to be clear with the people that, hey, this is not a life for everybody. It's a lifestyle that, you need to work on it and just, be happy with that.
I want to ask this question, and I'll probably also answer it and let you answer it. It's why is it important to not fake that lifestyle? You're talking about somebody moving from the city to the, farm and ranch lifestyle. I wouldn't be able to give that level of service, not because I'm not a good agent. I can sell them the home, I can sell them the dream. But what are some things that I couldn't do for them that you could?
Like, for example, personally, we have land, we have trucks that are farmer land or just dedicated for that. And it's something that you have to know. Like, you have to, and this is something that I have gained or learned from personal experience, like even to apply for an exemption on a property. That's something that we personally have gone through, like all of the steps. And whenever a client comes to me and ask me about ag exemption, I mean, they don't look at me like I'm crazy and I don't know what I'm talking about, because I've done it myself. I clearly know if they ask me, hey, if we get this piece of land that doesn't have the exemption, can you help us get it? Of course I can, because I know how to do it. I mean, I've told them even on how to get equipment, tractors, and all of these things. So that's why it's super important, to don't fake it, and just to be able to truly like tell them and help them on what they're trying to accomplish. Like if somebody asks me, hey, I'm trying to move to the east side, can you help us? We don't know anything about farmer ranch. And I'm like, yeah, of course I can help you. Why? Because I know everything in the area. I know everybody in the area. If you need cows, I know where to send you to get cows. I mean, if you need chickens, I mean, big no.
I'll bring them to you.
I bring them to you.
Yeah.
So, that's why it's so important. And this is not only important for farm and ranch. This is important, I feel like, for any lifestyle. You just mentioned Nate's lifestyle. I mean, he knows probably some of the best places in the city to go eat, to go have good drinks. And why is that? Because he lives that lifestyle. So, yeah. I mean, even Jovani knows the city like so well. Whenever I have clients that are coming from another country, from another state, that I don't know where to take them because I don't live in the city, I ask them and say, hey, where can I take them for good, like authentic food? Where can I take them to get, a good view of the city? And I feel like that's so important for any like little niche that you have within the business and with any business.
Yeah. No, well, the reason why I asked you that question was as you're talking about people from the city moving to the ranch, I started, in my mind kind of freaking out about, that's right. Like if I do want to go to like land, where like what are some tips and tricks? Like what would I do? And it's like, I wouldn't be able to give them any advice. There's no tips and tricks I could give them. There's no advice. There's probably very minimal information that I could give them. And that's where I do in real estate. I do encourage my agents, to kind of bow out of certain business because you're not doing them, justice. You're not giving them great service. You're going against, what we're, us as agents, what we stand for. And everyone's so quick to stand there for the dollar that they're willing to do whatever to get it sold. But, to the point is that if you can't truly help them beyond the sell, then I think here at Lionsgate Realty, you shouldn't be helping them because, it's not that. So, and I think, Jerry, we're talking about, your identity, right? And different things like that. You have a little bit of an identity, kind of how you were going to build your business. And we're going, how's that going? What tips do you have? Are there things you want to do differently or things you want to add or remove?
I think just to me, I need to add more just the content of what I like. So me liking, going out hunting and doing all that stuff, it's just more, focus on that and pretty much present myself as that type of person. So, once you identify yourself as a certain, person or what you like, then other people you're going to attract with the same interest. You can be surrounding yourself with, other hunters, other, enthusiasts that, like to harvest, any animal. So I think to me it's just very important, just to connect yourself with those people out there.
Yeah. And I think, and that sounds great, but putting it into action, what does that look like for you? What is, creating that identity to find those people? Because I'll tell you right now, you're probably not going to like to hear this, and I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I've had 3 friends, right? And one of them is married to a realtor here at the brokerage. I've had 3 friends buy land within the last 6 months for hunting specifically. And when they reached out to me, I have zero knowledge. So I was like, bro, you might as well just call the listing agent. Like, I'm good. 1, I'm not going to drive 6 hours. 3, I have zero interest and zero care. And 4, or there's nothing for me to do there. No advice I can give other than asking the listing agent. So I'd rather just them go and that listing agent do that. So how do you, those people are looking for somebody like you to be able to guide them, what are some things you could do for them if they call somebody like you to go to the land?
Just pretty much, know or trying to, I guess, research in that area of, I guess, what they're looking for, because I've been joining more groups about, they're selling ranch and land and hunting spots where it's even where, owner financing is real cheap to get into.
Yeah.
5% just to get into, and you're going to, finance 300,000, you're going to get like 100 acres or so.
What about me? I'm like Jaden. I like to act like I'm a hunter, but I ain't shot in like 2 years. So, what am I, I'm a novice hunter. I just hit the lottery. I got some money in my pocket. I want to take my boys hunting. I want to start some traditions. What are some things that you would look for? What does the land need? How many acres? What can you hunt on? What can you hunt on? Like, what are those? Is that things that you would advise clients that you can do that, or?
Yeah, most definitely, because you just can't buy maybe 2 or 3 acres and think it's, a land to go hunting. You have to have certain acreage, more than 10 acres to shoot, know the regulations, do your hunting classes and all that stuff. So if you really want to get into that, then for sure, get with somebody that is, an expert in that. And for sure, like I said, I'm still trying to show my identity and connect with more people and learn about that stuff. So yeah, most definitely you got to make your research before, you get caught out there with the game warden, which are,
I think for something like that, it's super important, like for you to explain your clients that, you have to have your tags, your license to hunt.
Yeah.
I mean, because every animal has like different seasons.
Yeah.
Most
So
definitely.
you cannot just go out there and start shooting whatever you see out in the wild. Like it's you can get into real trouble. And what Jerry mentioned, I mean, I don't know if y'all know, but actually game warden has a lot more power than state trooper, like any other police out there. I mean, they can actually get to your house and basically search.
Yeah,
I'm
they
gonna
can
go
start
apply.
going. Yeah, they start going into your ranch,
yeah.
or they can walk into your property and
Yeah.
basically, cite you for, start doing an investigation, cite you on whatever you're breaking the law.
No.
So, and also just, everybody wants to be, a hunter, but sometimes it's not even for everybody. Maybe they start, they harvest their first animal and they start cutting it open and they start, not feeling good. So, it just might be for you. So always try it out with somebody before you really get into it.
I give the same advice about marriage.
Hunting has been becoming a little bit popular this last few days because people are just trying to run away from the city or their wives.
But, man, I so wish Nate was here. Yeah. Me and Nate were just talking about this the other day because we were talking about grilling, and I was telling Nate, I was like, man, these people grill. And I enjoy feeding people and I enjoy grilling, but I just don't see the guys that are out there for like 4, 5, 8, 9 hours, cooking brisket, doing whatever they're doing. I was like, I think that there's machines now or like grills now that like you like put the thermometer in and then you could just like go to bed and it lets you know,
set it
like
and
sets an
forget it.
alarm, like, right? Like, okay, set it and forget it. I was like, that seems like, why do you need to be out there? But people are still out there, drinking. And Nate's like, oh, man, those people do that to get away from their wives, And I was like, bro, like, I don't know. Like, I like grilling, but I just wouldn't do that. So Nate was like, well, how do you like grilling? And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I like for my wife to defrost the meat. Yeah. I like for her to marinate it. I like for her to put it on the plate. I like for her to do everything. And I like to come home and just turn on the fire. Yeah, right. And then I put it on there. And then when it's done, all the sides are already cooked, and all I did was get the meat. And I feel like I did everything.
Yeah, I think there's just certain levels that you get into, like you said, grilling. You just want to throw the meat on there, or propane one. You don't even have to mess with the charcoal or nothing.
Yeah.
Get it and eat. Or like you said, you go deep into smoking a brisket for hours and being up. And, it's just the experience of people that, that would just want to live that.
The experience of the people that want to get away from their wives got it.
I feel like yes, that's exactly what's going on. I feel like guys now are going into this like hunting trips to feel like, they have gained like their power back of, yeah, I'm a man.
Yeah. No.
No,
I think it's just better feeling just to be out there outdoors, drinking a cold one or sipping some whiskey by the fire. And
bro, I do that tonight right now. Nah, and so back to that point is that's what Nate and I were saying. Obviously, one of my brother's favorite saying is, "We hear and we see, but we don't judge." and
that's a trend too.
Yeah, and Nate and I, fortunate enough to live a pretty decent life, and we say, we do what we want, how we want it, when we want it. So we've never really had to run away from anything. We're fortunate enough to build a business and a life that affords those things to us. So we never have to get away from anything. So it's not like we have to really vacation away from our lives. It's a pretty great life. It's not like we have to do a lot of stuff. Like we're pretty happy. We're pretty content. And I bring this up all the time. It's like coming from where we come from to where we are today, very happy in where I want to, where we are. So when we see these but I'm not even going to just pick on hunters. Like I have friends that are running marathons, running, 3-4 hours, and it's just like, bro, like, dang, like, estás corriendo por 4 horas, like, no tienes algo que hacer? Like, you're so upset, so involved in your life, like, how do you find 3-4 hours to just go run, to go do stuff? And I was talking to a group of my friends, and they're like, bro, I feel like they're just getting away from their wives. I feel like they're running away from something else. I feel like that's not normal. I don't know.
Where do you go golf, Vic?
That's what I was going to ask.
I made a decision 2 days ago, like 2 golf rounds ago. I was out there. I was sober. I was hanging out. And I was like, bro, this is a waste of time. This is the dumbest thing that people do. I was like, this is not even fun.
That's how I feel about fishing.
I was like, this is not fun. Yeah. Well, I'll double back on fishing. I like fishing. I would absolutely love that. It's fun.
Sober?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. I fish with the boys.
You know what? That's
different because you got your boys.
Yeah. That's a reason that you enjoy fishing sober, because I feel like whenever you're fishing with the kids, it's so much fun. Like they find the smallest thing like amused, like they're just amused by everything.
Yeah.
And you're like so entertained. Well, that's myself. I get so entertained on just entertaining like the little conversations. Oh my God, look at this. Yeah. Like that's so fun.
But back to your question, why do I like golf? Let's say I like golf because I hit that one good shot that feels good, which I never have. But is that the same with hunting or grilling or what? You cook that one meat, the perfect.
Yeah, I think it's just certain levels that that you get into that certain hobby.
Meat.
So a lot of times these hunters, they go on these high-end hunting trips where they go shoot something, they pretty much release it from the cage and put it in front of you, you shoot it, and then you have somebody else,
Dang.
skin it for you.
That's like the grilling I like. I like that kind of hunting, I think.
You set it and forget it. You shoot it, and somebody else puts it in the cooler for you, chops it up for you, and you just take it home. And now you pay somebody else to grill it.
That's wild.
What are some things, Vic, that you have done to, I guess, work on your identity that you transmit that into our agents?
Yeah. I think Jovani will be better fit to answer that, but I will give my advice on creating your identity. What I talk to my agents about often, it's that being true who they are. As you can see, Jerry and I don't share the same likes and interests, and we don't have the same opinion about his interests, right? There's 2 different personalities, 2 different, things of how people handle. My advice: if you can talk about something long enough, and you can start creating your content plan or your conversation pieces long enough, then you are in a position to probably create that in your identity. And what I do is that I break down my content or my conversation pieces by the year, and I break it down by quarter. And the way I start breaking those things down, I create a general theme that I want to talk about, and then I create subsections. Right? And every subsection is a month. And then from those subsections, I create other subsections. And those are done weekly. So there's 4 weeks in a month. If I can have a general theme, have a general subtopic for the month, and have talking points weekly, and then even break those down to 3 times a week, then I know that is a good theme and something that I'm truly passionate about, something that I truly speak to, something that can truly move me. Right. And then I create action plans beyond that, conversation pieces. And then action plans are things that I'm going to do. Right. But in that same action plan, I make decisions on where I'm going to spend my marketing dollars. So action plans, marketing plans, all those are all in there. So if I can do that for a certain theme, right? So if I'm going to be a golfer and I could talk about different, type of clubs and wedges and shots or I could talk about the grass and the whatever, right? And if I start going down those paths and I can make enough talking points, then I know that's something I'm probably passionate about. And then if I enjoyed it and I like it and I could see myself doing that, then that's where I start feeling like, okay, this is who I am. This is where I can find my people. And that is my advice, to really start breaking down. Like, don't just say it, right? You really start breaking down why you like it, how you can do it. Because I like a lot of things. We were talking about being in the math team when I was young. I loved math and it was great. And I go through, 2 rounds of whatever, and I get to the 3rd round and get my butt whooped, and I realize, my ego was hurt. I wasn't that smart. And you know what? Maybe I'm not a mathematician. This is not for me. Because I didn't really enjoy it. I was just good at it. People just told me I was good, so I kept doing it. And I do enjoy math. I do enjoy numbers. But to be locked up in a room doing all those things, I'm not that personality type, right? If I had the choice to do math homework or socialize and win the same amount of money, or find the same amount of happiness, it's always going to be socialized, because that's what I truly thrive in, right?
Right.
So that's what I talk about. It's the theme, breaking down into subsections, break it down into, months, weeks, days. If you can have those conversations, I think something you're truly passionate about. I think, back to answer your question, Jovani just had a team meeting, and that's why I wanted to dive a little deeper into that, because I think you're helping one of your team members find an identity. I guess tell us a little bit about that and what you do as a manager to help create and foster that identity.
Yeah, so pretty much the way that I like to figure that out is simply by just diving deep into what you do already anyways, right? This person really wants to go into investments, and that's like the route that they want to move down towards in the future. But I'm like, what right now can help you be a stepping stone to go into the investment side, right? So like a lot of times you'll hear realtors come into this business and they want to be realtors and they want to do the luxury side of real estate. It's like, well, you don't even know the terminology, you don't know the lingo, you don't know the people. I was like, how do you expect to work yourself into it? Like, you're just going to put yourself at a bar, an expensive bar, and hopefully find somebody who wants to do business with you? I was like, that's not how that happens, right? You want to be that person, you have to curate that. So you have to go to classes, take certain classes, learn about luxury design, learn about sometimes even staging, lighting, learn about the actual brick and mortar, right? In luxury building, if somebody's going to be looking for that. But the easiest way to figure out and stand out from somebody is to just be yourself. Plain and simple. Nobody else knows your neighborhood like you do. Yeah. Nobody else knows your side of town the way that you do. They don't have the stories that you have.
I know, that's right.
You can go in, for example, the other day, it's funny because I was showing a client over there in the dating side, and I don't really know dating that well, but whenever I go to a new area that I don't know and I talk to the business owners, I always like to ask them, what was the building, like what was it used for before? And the lady from, I can't remember, I think her name is Melody, the owner of Texas Country Kitchen, she told me that it used to be a brothel back in the 1900s. So that's like a awesome little fact that I can drop to clients that I'm showing who don't know the area, and they're like, oh wow, like this dude's so knowledgeable in this area, right? Well, I do that same thing with Baytown. Like, nobody else knows Baytown like the way that I do. I grew up there. I'm 2nd generation in Baytown. I know where all the little boat ramps are for people who do want to go there. Some of the best restaurants there. I've sent you to plenty of them out there, right?
Yeah.
So my little piece of advice is simply just be yourself.
Yeah.
As like cliche as it sounds, nobody else knows the area like you. Who else is the best person to sell your area besides you? You live there. You grew up there. And if you didn't grow up there and you don't live there and it's a new area for you, then you need to get involved as much as possible. Yeah. You need to go there and learn it like the back of your hand.
But and I think that's more creating your area, but trying to double back. And I know I'm putting you like on the spot here, but double down on creating your identity. I think where you were going first with that one specific agent that likes, the water, likes, whatever. Why did you feel that way? What was she doing, or what?
That's what they do. And that's what it goes back to, like what you know and what you do and just being yourself. Literally, she'll wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning to go fish all day. I don't understand that, right? Because I'm just like, bro, I don't want to be outside for more than an hour.
Yeah.
Right? I don't get it, but that's what she likes to do. And like, it's literally what they do. They wake up super early, take off, and they go fish. They know all of the Trinity Bay and over there by Baytown, like all of the east side, all of those little spots. Yeah. She was showing me like different areas on how to get to like the private beaches from taking off from by like where the Fred Harmon Bridge is. You can go and reach all the private beaches. And I didn't know that. I was like you know this like the back of your hand. I know Baytown, but I don't know Baytown like that.
Yeah.
Right. And like that's the whole thing about being true to yourself and speaking that, and that's how you create your identity, because nobody else knows that about you.
No, for sure. And that, so why I was asking that, and honestly, just to talk to all you guys, really, why I was asking that was creating your identity. I think it's super important. It's something that I liked. I was excited that you did that yesterday with your agents. It means a lot to them, because I think agents are always looking for guidance and help in that way. And if you don't have a mentor that cares enough about you to sit down and talk to you about those things, this is not at Jerry, and if it was, I would say, but I was saying that there's agents that claim that they're like gun enthusiasts, or they like hunting, or they like all these things, and we set up that clay shooting thing we were talking about earlier, and I immediately go, and I don't know if this is because I'm a marketing guy, or maybe you think that this is actually like loser stuff. I don't know. But we went to the clay shooting thing, and I have a couple agents that like guns, and I have gun safety this, and I do this, and I do that, and I do that. This is my first time at a shooting range. My absolute first time. I've gone to Gander Mountain. I don't even think it's called that anymore. That was my first time, and then I've gone clay shooting. That's it. That's my extensive gun history, and I get there, and immediately I see that you can sponsor the holes and put your name and your things, and I just feel like, as a gun enthusiast or somebody that likes doing those things, I would have sponsored a hole, or am I off base there? Is that something that you wouldn't do? I mean, because I feel like we encourage Flor to do her farm and land events and go out and buy into the community, rodeo, whatever y'all do.
Yeah, have us out there for 2 hours putting freaking parking cars.
We all suffered because Florida wants to be a farm and ranch person, but and the whole team's behind her. So, if you're looking for support, we got it. So, but back to that.
That is true.
Am I off base in the thinking that you should sponsor a whole, or no? I mean, I don't know. You think I'm asking Jerry, but everybody can answer, I guess.
No, I think so. Yeah, it just, it doesn't help that it's in like hour and a half away. But yeah, you know, just find your spots, like I say, your niche, or like your community that, in your area that's that you can sponsor. Put your name out there.
Yeah.
And like I said, so to me, there's a difference between gun enthusiast and a hunter enthusiast. So, it just, most of the time we do our shooting out there at the deer lease or anything like that. But, like I said, just find your spot where you could just actually put your brand out there.
I think I would like to bring it back a little bit to what Vick was mentioning earlier on, having that team that supports like what you like. I think that is extremely important. I think that definitely has been something that has helped me like tremendously with like Jovani's guidance and Vick guidance. I remember actually being sitting in this office, Vick writing on that board, hey, like this is what the way that you're going to kind of like structure your content. I think that definitely helps you find like a way to, okay, do I want to present myself this way, or do I want to present myself this other way? I feel like I have always been like, kind of like private on oversharing like my personal life, like on little things, because I mean, I have kids. I just, don't want, all of my stuff to be like all over, like out there and on social media. And that is something that Jovani like has, talked to me like a lot of times, like, hey, like, just put it out there, like share it. I'm like, dude, I don't want to be oversharing on things, but I think it is important, for people to see what you do and to build that connection, I guess, easier. I was just telling Rob the other day too, that was like, dude, like show your personality. Like you really have to show who you are. If you know about cows, if you know about horses, if you know about the gym, if you know about dieting, whatever it is, like throw it out there. Make sure that your clients know that you know about it, because I mean, they're going to like you more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then it goes back to the old saying, right? Like you build it and they will come. Well, in real estate is, you tell people who you are, and then you'll find your own people. They'll want to work with you. Real estate, again, right? a lot of times people, the reason why they don't like realtors is because they always feel like the realtor's trying to get something out of them. But what do people love? People love to shop with friends. If they feel like you're a friend because you're telling people who you are, you're showing houses the way that you would show a regular, just one of your clients, and they like that about you, by the time, before you even get to them, they already have a mental image of you and they know you. So now they already feel like they're your friend before you even talk to them. It happens all the time with my clients whenever I meet them, especially from like my YouTube or my social media. They'll reach out to me through phone. I never see what they look like unless I did a Zoom call with them. And when I'm getting out of my car, walking up to the model where we're going to meet, they're already, hey, Jovani, how you doing? Right? And it's like, I've never seen them before and I just know them by name and by sound. So it becomes like they're already endured to you. They're already like you. And it's because whenever I do my showings on my YouTube or my Instagram, I talk the way that I usually talk. I don't try to put on a persona. I don't try to sound too perfect. Sometimes I stumble upon my words, but I do that in person too. I do that all the time, right? Don't even get me. Don't even get me. Don't even get me spelling, because that's a good thing it's not a spelling channel, right? That'd be even worse, right?
You throw some numbers in there.
Or like I always tell them on my videos, like, man, I don't know where I'm going. I use my GPS for everything. So if they expect me to tell them, oh yeah, take a left here, take a right there, I don't even know myself. And I've lived in Baytown 30 years or whatever.
I always heard bigger people could describe through the restaurants. So
well, you know that they know what's good, right?
Yeah. Say, I don't know. When I first got to Baytown, Jovani's like, take a right at O'Neill's, take a left at the Whataburger. No.
Yeah, but I mean, it goes back to that, right? You want to find your people in this business because I don't even want to say that it's easier, but you understand each other. You understand what they're looking for, so it's less of a headache for them versus if you're, quote unquote, a luxury realtor, right, that only does luxury apartments. I mean, what do you know about land and ranch? Yeah. And then you're going to give them not even wanting to give them a bad deal, but you don't know about it, so you can put them in a hole. And as a matter of fact, there's plenty of deals that I've talked to Flor about where the agent on the other side who was selling it or was trying to buy something from Flor, and I was like, man, this dude knows absolutely nothing. Like, they're doing their client a disservice. Like, they know absolutely nothing about land and ranch. Yeah. So we run into those plenty of times. That's why I say it's better just to be true to yourself and don't jump over into that next phase until you 100% know it inside and out.
Yeah. No, why I was saying that earlier too is you do your clients a disservice if you don't know. That's why I put you on the spot, or ask even you too, Jerry. I was asking you guys, what would you guys provide that a regular agent wouldn't? Because I wouldn't know if something could hunt or you can hunt, or I wouldn't know anything. I wouldn't know on the farm and ranch, whether you can or can't. And, honestly, that's why I'm thankful for you guys here at this brokerage, because, we have experts here, and our goal is to give, funnel the business to the experts here, and we have somebody that can handle every aspect of it. I'm comfortable saying that I don't know, and it's okay. I don't need to know everything. For me, I'm finding an identity really difficult because I feel that I like a wide range of things. And I do enjoy a wide range of things. I do enjoy fishing. I do enjoy the family lifestyle. As much as I love the family lifestyle, I enjoy a good night out, or 3 a week, I enjoy both. So it's for me, I have a wide range of interests and likes, and I feel that I can go down any path, right? But then my decision becomes, is that what I want? Do I like this night lifestyle because of where I'm at? Will I like it in 5 years? Absolutely not. Do I like the family content right now? No, I don't have time, for the family, because now I'm going to go into business. Like, you really got to think about where you want to go and who you are as a person. So
I think I can add to that I personally I feel like I felt that way before. And me becoming a real estate agent and us having the office downtown, I feel like that definitely came to give me like the perfect balance that I was looking for, that live the life in the country that I absolutely love, but also have that, slash of city life that I kind of like needed it. Yeah. So I think that is also important too, to find that balance of doing what you love, but also, doing the other thing that you love. And I feel like it's really important to find, like a middle ground.
Yeah.
And I told my clients all the time that I get to live the best of both worlds. And, living out there in the country and coming to work in the city, I feel like it gives me, that what I needed on, hey, I still live a life out here, but I enjoy, having my tranquility and my quiet time.
Yeah, you still get your, big city fix. And then after you get enough of it, you just start back to the house.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing that's so great about Houston, right? I mean, even though Houston's an hour away from Houston, if you really want to take time to spend time in the city, but you want to live on 15 acres, I mean, you just got to drive 45 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So you can get there. And to Vick's point about, well, I don't know which one of these of myself that I really want to put out there. Well, I think that there's a season for everything, right? There's going to be a season whenever you're raising the kids when they're little, then a season whenever they're in college, or a season whenever you want to be out in the city, even though you do have family, you bring your wife out there, whatever it may be. As Nate says all the time, right? Like now that the kids are getting out of the house, well, he wants to go back to the city. So there's a season for everything. And I think as a realtor, you don't need to get tied down to an identity, because your identity constantly changes with who you are and what you want to do. If you're a realtor who's always lived the city life and you get married and you have kids and you want to move, let's say, to the suburbs, well, now, I mean, more than likely, that's going to end up being your clientele, because you're in there, you're going to the schools, you're going to the PTAs, you're going to the parks, so anything that's local there.
Yeah.
So now that becomes your clientele. And it's okay to adjust. And I think that's why a lot of people get super, I'm not going to use that word no more because y'all were making fun of me last time.
Super.
No, not super, the A word. I'm not going to use the A word.
Yeah.
A lot of people get super dogmatic about their identity. So I don't think it needs to be like that.
What was the word?
I'll say I like to use the word. No, I like to use the word anal. It's like people are super anal about certain things, and they were making fun of me about that last time. So getting really dogmatic about your personality, or what's the word?
Identity.
Your identity.
Yeah.
Because it's going to constantly change. You're not going to be the same person forever.
And this is the advice. I hope my camera's working. If not, you just repeat this, Jovani. My advice is that this is advice for new agents and young people that are in this business. You don't have an identity. You have your life ahead of you. You don't know where to start. And there's a lot of things that can change. But you're interested in something and you need to figure out what that is. That's what we're good at doing here. I started in this business really young, 18 years old, didn't know what I wanted to do. Didn't know where I wanted to go. My whole life was ahead of me. Right now that I'm 33 years old, I wouldn't change anything. I'm doing everything exactly the way that I wanted to. And I finally got to a position and not in life, like in business, where I can finally do what I wanted to do at 18 years old. I finally have the experience, the money, the connections, the everything to do this whole other life that I wanted. And I wanted it when I was 18 years old, and I wanted it now, and I thought I was a failure because I didn't have it. But everything that I learned and everything that I went through and everything that I experienced up to this point has prepared me for where we're going moving forward. And 2025 and beyond is going to be really great. You know, it's a lot of hard work and it was a lot of changes. And I will say for these young people or people that don't know, if you're going to a new area, people want to see. It's okay to not know. And that's my biggest advice to people. It's okay to not know. It's okay to learn on the job, quote unquote, because a realtor from Houston, the city, will still know the suburbs. He might not be an expert, but he's going to know how to sell the house. He's going to know how to negotiate. He's going to know how to, get things going. But it's going to be good to start finding the local restaurants, the local, watering holes that Jovani's really good at finding, the local, things that you experience. People want to see I feel like people want to see the come up. They want to see the grind.
People want to discover it with you, along with you, because it's a story, right? Because they're going to be in the same position. That's why I say, whether you're brand new to the area or the area you lived in, nobody else knows the area like you. Because if you're new to the area, you're discovering it, and they're going to be discovering it with you. It's going to be something people are interested. I mean, there's been times where, for example, in Baytown, I haven't really spent a lot of time recently there. I know a lot of the most established parts, but there's little coffee shops popping up here and there.
Yeah.
And I don't know it because I'm not so entrenched in it anymore. And it's it surprises me when my siblings tell me about it, right? I'm like, oh, snap. So somebody who lives in the area for so long, they can probably get entrenched into just old habits. They go to the same restaurants and they don't explore, right? So versus somebody who's just moving into the community who doesn't know it, they're going to go explore everything. So your story is different from everybody else's.
I'm gonna take this opportunity to flex on my poor Theo that's sick out there, and it's he's lived here in Spring for a long time, and I always told him that I hated this area, and and there was nothing fun to do. And he's like, there's a lot of fun things to do. And he gave me a lot of recommendations, and they were all terrible. I did not like any single one of them.
He did that to me in the valley. Maybe just I haven't that he
I
has.
know you're gonna bring that up.
Yeah. So then I went around and I started asking neighbors and friends in different cool places. And one of my neighbors gave me a really, really cool speakeasy here in Spring, Klein, Texas. And it was the greatest thing ever. And I took Nate. I made the mistake of telling my wife. So my wife told, Brizzy, and then they acted like they had been there, but they had never been there. and then they were like, "Oh, I've heard about it. I've been here, but I didn't come to the speakeasy side. I went over there." I was like, "So you ain't been here?" But he was like, "Man, I've always heard of it. I've always said it. I just, you're comfortable with your spots, so you don't really care enough to go try something new." So I will say that, we've been in the Spring Klein area for a long time. I moved to a new part of Klein, and it was fun to rediscover it. I went to high school here. I've been here. I feel like I've lived in the same area for freaking 30 years now. I'm so tired of it. I'm still discovering new places. So it's fun. It's good. I say don't give up. Like Jovani told me yesterday, the dream's not dead, baby. The dream's not dead. Let's go.
The dream's not dead.
We just got to change the game plan up.
Yep. All right. So I think we'll leave you guys with that. Again, you can find us on YouTube every single Thursday, HBR, Houston Business and Real Estate. Flor, I think that was your last 2 podcasts for the year, correct? On the Spanish side? Because I think she's going to be out of town, but we'll continue pushing forward. You can find us here every single week. And I'm Jovani, Lionsgate Realty, your gracious host here at the HBR Podcast. I'm going to let Vic go ahead and exit out, and then the guys behind me. And
there
that's it.
I am Victorino Cortez, president of Lionsgate Realty. We are hiring. We are recruiting. We do want you on our team unless you do not care about this business. But we're excited to have you on. Reach out to us if you need some help. You need some help creating your identity. You don't have to be on our team. Just reach out to us, and we're here to help. So,
yeah, do charge, right? For
no consultations or
consultation. Okay.
Yeah.
No, so I'm Jerry with Lionsgate Realty agent here. So if you're looking for a home here in the southeast area of Houston or anywhere around, contact me.
This is Flor Velasquez with Lionsgate Realty, your farm and ranch expert. If you are guys in the area looking for land, or even if you are an agent that is interested on knowing about a farm and ranch, I would like to get, into that field, we can definitely help you with that. Till 2025.
Yeah.
That's crazy that I said that.
Till next time. Oh, where's my camera? Until next time.